Programmet præsenteres i samarbejde med Ravn Industri, Hallund Staldservice, Ørsted Engineering Consult og Østrup Autoophug og Genvindingsindustri. Velkommen til det andet program, hvor vi følger rallycross-køreren Ulrik Lindemanns vej til Europamesterskabet 2025.
Heldigvis så var det vores egen hjemmebaneløb, som vi skulle kigge frem mod nu. Nysumbanen, der føler jeg mig virkelig stærk. Og jeg vil næsten sige sådan, at hvilken som helst rallycross-kører fra verden kan komme og kæmpe mod mig på Nysumbanen, så får de det svært.
So we ride on board with the local hero, Ulrik Lindemann, from his helmet cam. This is in free practice 1.
I både sving 1 og sving 2 er meget specielt fra starten af, fordi det er jo to sving, som man kun får fra starten af. Første sving får man absolut kun fra start af. Sving 2 får man igen, men der er rigtig mange, der stiller skarpt på sving 2, ligesom de nu skal køre den resten af heatet, fordi de kommer jo med markant højere fart, når de kommer på omgang 2 og skal igennem det sving. Så derfor har mange de har et bremsepunkt til sving 2, som fra start er alt for tidligt. Og det gør, at når man er på hjemmebane, at man ofte kan snyde dem igennem sving 1 og sving 2. Som ny kørende på Nysumbanen, så er det meget tricky, fordi at, man er totalt blind, når man sidder i bilen. Man kører ud over kanten, og inden for bilen der kan man ikke se, hvor man skal ramme. Så man lægger faktisk bilen, man skifter karakter på bilen, man vender bilen allerede inden man kommer ud over kanten, for at man rammer den rigtigt. Og det er noget, man skal prøve mere end en gang, før den sidder. Men ja, det er altså kommentatorerne og de andre kører, der er jo nogle af dem, der ligefrem siger, at hvis man skulle bygge en rallycrossbane, så kunne Nysumbanen være template for at bygge den suverænt bedste rallycrossbane. Så det er jo rosende ord til min hjemmebane, det kan vi rigtig godt lide. Det er et rigtig, rigtig vigtigt løb for os, og vi har jo som altid VIP for vores sponsorer, for vores fans. Og det er så også et løb, hvor det kræver noget ekstra af mig. Det kræver, at jeg er ekstra på, for jeg må jo ikke fejle, når det er på hjemmebane. Det skal du, og det har jeg gjort tidligere. Jeg har fejlet big time på hjemmebane, men det gør jeg ikke her. Jeg føler mig rigtig godt forberedt. Op til løbet har vi skiftet næsten alt, hvad der kan gå galt, fordi nu er vi godt klar over, at nu må der ikke være mere uheld, fordi så får vi ikke chancen for at tage det her guld i mesterskabet. Vi er stadigvæk forholdsvis langt bagud, og vi kan ikke afgøre det selv stadigvæk. Det må ikke slå fejl nu, og det skal køres hjem. Og jeg må indrømme, at jeg følte, at jeg havde rigtig godt fat i Nysum. Kører mig også til pole position om lørdagen, men før finalen, der åbner himlen sig, og igen så er det en lidt dårlig position at starte forrest. I Nysum, der starter vi på noget lidt specielt asfalt, og i løbet af dagen er der kørt rigtig meget gummi i de forreste pladser, fordi det er der alle starter, når vi kører heat. Og så til finalerne, så kommer dem, der skal starte bagved, de kommer til at starte et sted på starten, hvor der ikke er blevet startet. Så de har noget mere rent asfalt, og ved at der kommer regn, så har de meget mere greb.
The last final of the day then, on the front row. Local man Ulrik Lindemann and Fraser McConnell who won the FC2 final earlier. Then it's Ollie Eriksson, Kasper Jansen. Martinson is there, but Turenne is missing. The front row gets another bad start. Ollie Eriksson either side with Kasper Jansen on Fraser McConnell. It's an FC2 1-2-3 into the first corner. McConnell runs incredibly wide. Can't get it turned in at all. Was looking for the move he's made twice today and it didn't work. Kasper Jansen leads from Ollie Eriksson and Martinson. Who's going to go joke? I'd go joke here just to get out of the weather. Lindemann goes. Great call by Lindemann.
Had no option, Andrew. Yeah. I think when you're stuck up behind the pack like that, he wants to win this final at home in Denmark, doesn't he? It's no good being fourth in the train because then you risk McConnell going in and getting that clear air. Well, it's not clear, it's just slightly less muddy, wet air at the moment, isn't it?
It's a brilliant description.
Desværre så er finalen jo bare en katastrofe. Vi var kørt forbi alle helt sidst efter starten. Og der regner simpelthen så meget, at man kan ikke se, hvor man kører. Og efter 3 omgange, så taber jeg mit viskerblad. Så må køre, heldigvis kender jeg banen godt, så jeg må kigge ud af sideruderne, hvor barriererne de kommer, så jeg ved, hvor jeg skal dreje.
What a brilliant level of the wet is. Lindeman's now on the back of McConnell.
Martinson's gone. Lindemann looking to the inside line. So, Lindemann looked inside to pass and get sideways. It rain on every single one of our cameras.
Jeg kører faktisk bare finalen færdig og overlever. Og det giver en 3. plads, fordi at de andre har simpelthen skøjtet af. Jeg er jo godt klar over, at det pointsforspring, Maiko Tam, som er min nærmeste konkurrent, han har, det er jeg nødt til at skal have kappet et ordentligt hul i, hvis jeg skal tro på mesterskabet. Han er uheldig at lave nogle dårlige ting, kvejser lidt og har det lidt svært på Nysumbanen. Og det gør jo, at det virkelig spiller i mine hænder. Jeg kunne halvere hans mesterskabsføring på dag 1, til trods for, at jeg sluttede som nummer 3. Så det var virkelig en god dag at slutte på podiet efter sådan en finale, hvor jeg har kørt uden visk, og hvor jeg ikke kunne se noget. Det var jo også mega. Og alle de publikum og gæster og sponsorgæster og sådan noget, vi havde, var jo ovenud glade. Jeg husker jo tydeligt alle de der danske flag, der var nede omkring podiet der. Det var virkelig en fed dag. Og til trods for, at jeg sluttede som 3'er, så var det 2, som ikke rigtig var i mesterskabstitlen, som sluttede foran mig. Så det var jo også positivt. Nu begynder jeg at forholde mig til, at mesterskabstitlen den kan kæmpes hjem. Mere eller mindre af mig selv. Jeg mener, jeg er 10 point bag, da vi starter op søndag morgen.
Lindemann really needs this, but outside him he's got some proper weapons in Franks, Ericsson and McConnell. McConnell pulled off around the outside twice yesterday. I reckon he's going to go for it again. Is it going to be 3 out of 3 for the Jamaican? He's becoming a bit of a specialist at this. Gets back to the apex, blocks Lindemann tidily, and that is 3 from 3 for Fraser McConnell.
Og det starter jo mega godt. Altså, sætter hurtigste tid i heat 1. Og en, som har virkelig haft godt fat på Nysumbanen, var Victor Ranks, som på det tidspunkt lagde 3'er i mesterskabet. Og jeg ved, han er presset, fordi han ville gerne have slået mig. Og gjorde det jo ikke om lørdag. Han kom ikke videre til finalen. Så han presser hårdt på. Jeg får lidt insiderviden om, at de bygger bilen helt om, fordi jeg tager ham i starten i heat 1. Og de bygger bilen om, fordi han skal ikke tage mig i starten i heat 2. Jeg tager ham i starten igen.
Linnemann's been squeezed here, needs to duck out of this. Fraser's on the inside, can't do the classic round the outside, but stays on the inside line. Janssen bounces off the bank, Lindemann gets into P2, Casper will try them round the outside. Lindemann holds on though and goes with Fraser McConnell. Side-by-side in contact again in the background between Martinson and Janssen. So another good start from Frans, this time from the inside of the grid. Now he's got to get after Ollie's time.
Martinson did absolutely the right thing there, didn't he? As McConnell is under massive pressure at the front of the field from Ulrik Lindemann, the local hero. Martinson also all over the back of yesterday's winner, Casper Janssen. Martinson was fair to Janssen there in turn 3 and got on the brakes early to allow Janssen through. McConnell, though, is just in that rich run of form here, which he perhaps hasn't been in all season long.
It counters the dust. Lindemann somehow holds on. What I was going to say, Hal, is coming out onto the straight. Most motorsports, you're looking for a toe. Here it looked like McConnell got a push going onto the straight from Lindemann. Supercar power just as he came through the right. Watch through here. Lindemann, I don't know if he's going to get the same exit again. But he comes through, he's not quite as close to the previous lap. He was on McConnell's bumper as they came through the left-hander. Now this time he looks to come and pass the Jamaican on the outside line. The FC2 will be on the limiter, but only just, and Lindemann can't quite make it stick.
That sort of move from Lindemann would put off a less experienced driver, but the FC2 drivers here, Ollie Ericsson, Fraser McConnell, Casper Janssen, are so astute that if Linnemann's going wide, if you're not going to run wide by being too late on the brakes, you're not going around there, sunshine.
Stick to your line, stick to your braking point. Yeah, but doing that, and Lindemann goes Joker this time, so Linnemann's gone Joker. His only rival really from that point of view is Martinson in the background, and Linnemann's going to get there first. So now Ulrich's got a little bit of clear track in front of him. Franks has dropped in behind him, so Franks not on the same pace as Lindemann here. Lindemann, Franks, Martinson at the back. It's 2 FC2s out front. Will one of them end up at the front? Comes through the merge. Fraser down the bottom. Ulrich Lindemann at the top. Lindemann maybe going to get there first. He does, just in front. Ulrich Lindemann racing at home edges. Fraser McConnell at the merge. Goes over the line. And it is a 2:27.5. Lindemann goes fastest to win the session.
Han tager ham i starten igen. Så de er lidt ja, hvad skal man sige, paniske op hos dem. De har kørt 100 omgangs træning på Nysumbanen inden løbet, fordi at det virkelig var Nysumbanen, at de skulle vise sig. De havde masser af gæster fra Belgien og Holland. Så lige i 2025 er han nok den, der har testet mest på Nysumbanen. Jeg har så lidt erfaringer fra tidligere, så holder ham fint skakmat i løbet af dagen.
Great launch on the front row from Frank Tampere Lindemann. Franks has got to go for the outside move surely, but Lindemann pitches the car in wide. Kasper Janssen's looking to that inside line. Janssen's going to get P2. Frank slots into third, and that is a train all the way through turn one. They all know what to do. Svensson the first to Joker. Good move from there, I think, to get himself out of traffic, having ended up P5. Remember, the top three go through, and Maiko Tam, here he is, your championship leader. Is he going to make it? He's got work to do from there.
Tam changed his mind now on the Joker option on the first lap, sends the Ford Fiesta sideways onto the loose surface section. There was a squeal of tyres there in the background. I wonder if something's happened to Svensson we didn't quite see in the shot. Victor Franks all over the back of Kasper Janssen, but on the first corner, Maiko Tam really had a good run around the outside, but just couldn't make it work. He got shuffled to the back.
They all knew, didn't they, just to shut the door and just get into a line on the inside. Franks is late on the brakes, but he doesn't make any contact. Tidily done. Decides not to go Joker, so he's going after Lindemann and Kasper Janssen as well. Kasper Janssen yesterday won, don't forget. Tam's gone in as he, so Maiko Tam's gone Joker. That means cover Svensson. Let's see the merge in the background if we can.
38.2, fastest lap of the race last time around.
Oh, Ostring's dropped it. Franks gets picked up. That's a nightmare. Ostring gets rolled. Ostring gets rolled. He dropped it. There was nothing Franks could do there. Lindemann's gone through the Joker lap. He's come out in front. Lindemann takes the checkered flag. P2 goes to Janssen, and Franks, who has had a car roll over the front end of his car, makes it in P3. Carnage at the end of that semi-final.
Og til finalen er jeg meget spændt, fordi nu skal jeg virkelig have sparket den i mål. Jeg blev jo 3'er om lørdagen, og nu holder jeg igen i samme position og håber og tror på, at jeg er klar til at kan vinde den her finale.
Okay, final race of the weekend, open four-wheel drive on the front row, home racer Ulrik Lindemann. Next to him, double winner in the FC2 category this weekend, Fraser McConnell, who loves this track. Kasper Janssen, second row with Martinsson, and then Franks and Eriksson at the back. It's a great start by Fraser McConnell on the outside of row number one. Martinsson gets into the side of Janssen. Martinsson spun round in the wall on the outside. Ollie Eriksson goes round two. We don't see what's going on. McConnell's out wide. Lindemann gets the whole shot. McConnell drops to P4. All kicked off before they even got to turn one. Victor Franks has gone to try and cover off McConnell, and I think he's going to have enough. He does.
Fastest lap of the race on a 38.1 for Ulrik Lindemann.
Lindemann, of course, in the championship fight. Maiko Tam is not in the final. If Lindemann takes the win here, Hal, the one category we had that we thought was not going to be wide open is going to be wide open between those two at least.
Tam's had a shocking weekend, hasn't he, the Estonian, with the Ford Fiesta, and just a week to go to the final round. Lindemann didn't get the result he wanted yesterday, salvaged a podium with horrendous visibility in the polo in that pouring rain.
Lindemann supported this series all year long, Hal. He's tried so hard for so long.
He only planned to come to the first round.
Yeah, I know. And it just, I mean, yeah, amazing stuff. But I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. It's a home win and a championship fight we're looking for, but let's see.
If ever there was a rallycross addict, it's Ulrik Lindemann. I think I'm up there, but he keeps trying to retire and can't shake the bug, can he? Has to keep coming back.
You tried and you bought a historic car, mate. There's no hope, is there, basically? So, I'll get one for a hobby instead. I think it's the best car you've ever owned. Certainly the biggest money pit, isn't it? Poor old Hal.
But Lindemann's always trying to stop driving and do other things, but the lure of racing a supercar is too great. It keeps coming back. Being in a Rally X title fight come the end of the year is something I don't think he expected going into the first round. He desperately wants to win here. I don't want to curse him because he's racing at home. It would be his biggest
title, wouldn't it? Winning the Rally X title.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yes.
He was the annual bridesmaid in Super 1600 in the European Championship for many years.
But I say, we're getting ahead of ourselves because he's got to have a perfect weekend next time. He's doing a great job here so far.
This is trying to cover
Janssen, yeah, he's coming over the top. He's trying to cover Franks, as Hal says, and he does get there. He's behind him. It doesn't matter. Good
sensible
move.
from Lindemann to not get into the rear of Janssen. Meanwhile, Franks has done the fastest lap of the race, but there's nothing he can do about it. I wonder if Frank's got a minute because he's just dropped back a little bit. Lindemann in the brakes, trying to avoid the back of Janssen. Janssen's going to be third at best here.
You can hear the limiter up the straight there from Fraser McConnell as well, desperately trying to get back in the battle. He's had 2 wins in FC2, but it wasn't to be in open four-wheel drive this weekend. Yesterday's win in open four-wheel drive went to Kasper Janssen. He's crossed up on the brakes, but this time round, He's got to go into the Joker lap. The rain has held off just enough. And over the crest comes Ulrik Lindemann at his home track in Denmark. He took a win at the start of the season in Portugal. This puts him firmly in the championship fight next week at the Estering. A win for Lindemann in Denmark. Frank's right on his rear bumper. Kasper Jansen gets P3 and Lindemann pitches the car into donuts in front of his friends, his family, his fans and his supporters. Absolutely made up for him.
Brilliant, brilliant job. Worked so hard to make this happen. He's taken on the big teams for a very long time, has Ulrik Lindemann, with much less budget than many of the others. Look at all the sponsors on the car. He brings all of those people to his home round in Neesom, and this will mean a massive amount to them and especially to him.
How fantastic. Look at that. Love to see it. I really do. There's nothing better than a good story. We had some great finals. That wasn't our best final, but that's not the point. We had a wonderful result and a deserved result with a great drive from Ulrik Lindemann. He missed the fastest lap by a 200th of a second from Victor Franks.
This means so much to me, and come to Estering with a lead in the championship. I can say it gives me goosebumps when I think about winning the championship on Estering, where I crashed my car to pieces 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm so grateful for this one.
You're full of emotion because yeah, it's not only a win. You are championship leader and you have something to play next weekend. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's epic. I can't describe it. Yeah, I think I have to sing it tonight with a beer or two in front of my home crowd, my sponsors and family. It's incredible.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Det var en kæmpe forløsning, og samtidig med havde føreren af mesterskabet haft endnu en dårlig dag på kontoret, man kan sige sådan. Og det gjorde, at jeg på søndag tog mesterskabsføringen til Danmark og kunne gå ind i finale weekenden i Tyskland med føring. For mig er det jo en bane, som har kostet dyrt. Jeg har vundet flere gange, og jeg føler mig godt kørende på banen, men har også haft det her voldsomme uheld i 23, som gør, at jeg når på visse pladser af banen er en lille smule ekstra forsigtig.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, a bit, but I try to keep standing on my feet and take heat by heat. Now I was fastest in the practice, so I put myself in the best position for heat 1. Hope to stay out of trouble and have a clean run. We'll focus on being in top 5 all weekend, then I think the title should be mine.
This is really, really sensible talk. Now we need this to continue when the decision making is happening in turn 1 and the Joker and things. Can we manage it all weekend?
I hope.
But then once he puts this thing on here, that's going to go straight out the
slider
window.
This is the thing which messes up the decision making, isn't it? The crash helmet, you know?
Yeah, I have the switch on my head, so when the helmet come on, something turning off. So.
Right up here it is. Mate, good luck. We wish you the very best.
Starter mega godt. Starter med at sætte hurtigste tid i tidtagningen eller i træningen, som giver mig pole i Heat 1. Og Heat 1 starter jeg ud og fører og gennemkører efter min vurdering mere eller mindre perfekt og får hurtigste tid igen. Heat 2 blev lidt en repetition. Fører heatet fra start til slut. Hurtigst igen. Tredje heat er jeg ikke stolt af. Jeg får et kæmpe skub op i første sving, hvilket resulterer i, at de andre kører forbi mig. Jeg skynder mig at sige, at køreren bliver straffet for at give mig det skub. Det er et af de værste steder, man kan få et skub. Det er, fordi man kommer mere eller mindre bakkende ind i svinget, fordi svinget er næsten 180 grader. Starter med at være på jord, så kommer man ind på asfalt. Så for at man kommer ind i det sving og kan sætte rigtigt af med det her firehjulstræk, vi har på supercarerne, så er det den hurtigste måde, det er næsten at bakke ind i svinget, og så simpelthen få acceleration på så tidligt som muligt. Og fra start af, så har man jo 4-5 biler i røven af en, som man skal prøve at undgå. Men ja, i starten af det her Heat 3, der får jeg et ordentligt puff, som gør, at jeg kommer helt forbi svinget. Det får mig nok lige til at tabe hovedet en lille smule, at jeg kommer ned og kører bagerst. Vi havde faktisk snakket om inden heatet, at jeg behøvede jo slet ikke at være hurtigst, fordi jeg havde et godt pointsforspring ved, at jeg var etter i Heat 1 og 2. Men jeg tager så jokeren og prøver på at køre mig op. Og i forsøget på at køre mig op, får jeg lavet en fejl på enden af langsiden, hvor at jeg simpelthen får bremset en tand for sent til, at jeg kan komme rundt i svinget. Så jeg vender bilen på håndbremsen og regner med, at jeg bare lige skal bakke lige lidt ud i sandet, og så ind på banen igen, og så regner jeg med, at jeg er kørende igen. Men lige det øjeblik, jeg rammer sandet, så får det lige bilen til at tippe.
Championship leader, we just said he needed not to do anything silly. He was in P4. He's put it in the gravel. I saw him head off. He'll be absolutely gutted. He's not necessarily out because he won the first 2 sessions, but he must make the semis, and how this is going to drop him right down the order.
Og en rulletur på Hestering igen var absolut ikke noget, jeg var stolt over, og slet ikke i den her situation, hvor jeg førte mesterskabet og bare skulle køre sikkert. Heldigvis er den bare lige tippet rundt ud i sandet, og der er ikke nogen skader på bilen. Så ringer jeg hurtigt til mekanikerne faktisk efter, mens jeg står og venter på, at de skal komme og få min bil ind i depotet. Så ringer jeg til mekanikerne og siger, at vi skal bare have den tømmet for sand hurtigst muligt og have fyldt olie, sådan at vi er klar til semifinalen. Og heldigvis er jeg jo allerede, eller er stadig i en position, hvor jeg skal starte pole i den ene semifinal.
So Linneman on the pole, who rolled in Q3. Needs a good start now and doesn't get it. Linneman's got a bad start. Howman's going to beat him to turn 1, but is Linneman going to be in the inside? Gets the rotation on the polo. Pushes Howman slightly wide. Maiko Tam looks inside. Contact on the wall from Fraser McConnell. But Ulrich Linneman comes out in P1 after not a great start. That's a great assertive move in turn 1.
Der går jo en lille smule af selvtilliden ved, at jeg har gjort det her. Det er jo noget, jeg ved, at der er mange, der har fokus på, og der er mange, der tænker over, kæft mand, nu væltede han igen. Men jeg vælger at børste tandet af skuldrene og køre op til semifinalen og vinder den i sikker stil. Og på den måde så fik jeg minimeret tabet af det her udgåede heat. Så er jeg så klar til at starte fra anden spor i finalen.
Victor Franks on the front row with championship leader Ulrich Linneman, who's already been upside down once today. Then it's Martinsen and Janssen. Then Maiko Tam and Rennie Munich on the back row. Remember, it's Tam versus Linneman for the title. Oh, Linneman stalled on the line. Tam gets around him. Linneman goes P1 to P6 in a heartbeat, and he's at the back of the pack. Now Janssen. He's got to stake on Janssen, going around the outside, goes backwards, and it's Martinsen, I think, who leads. Needs to get back out to the front. No, it's not. It's Franks who leads. It's Franks in the dust. Franks leads from Kasper Janssen. Martinsen P3. What does Linneman do from here? His rivals right in front of him. I would focus on Tam.
Der sker igen en dum fejl. Bilen er ikke kommet i gear der, hvor der bliver grønt. Og jeg har jo en fast rutine, som jeg altid har, når Marshall skal over og gør klar til startproceduren. Så trækker jeg den i gear, og så slår jeg LS til, og så holder jeg den i håndbremsen indtil der bliver grønt. Men af en eller anden mærkelig grund, stresset hoved efter alt det her, der er sket, og alt det her, jeg drømmer om, så har jeg ikke fået den i gear, og det gør jo så, at alle konkurrenter kører forbi. De fleste ved, at jeg har 3 sølvmedaljer i EM tidligere, og jeg har været rigtig, rigtig tæt på. Jeg har også ført EM forud for den sidste afdeling, og tabt det hele lige på målstregen. Så jeg tror måske, det er alle de her ting. Det er jo noget, jeg har drømt om i rigtig, rigtig mange år, at skulle tage det her EM-guld. Jeg måtte tilbage og kigge video før jeg troede på, at jeg ikke havde sat den i gear, og jeg gjorde det ikke. Jeg følger efter og kæmper, men jeg kommer ikke rigtig videre. Jeg kan ikke komme forbi nogen. Hestering er en bane, som er fed på mange måder, men hvis man skal forsøge at avancere og overhale, så er det ikke en bane, der er fed på den måde. Heldigvis har jeg jo stadigvæk scoret point nok til, at jeg fortsat fører mesterskabet. Jeg fører faktisk lidt større, end jeg gjorde efter Nysund. Jeg kan gå ind til finaledagen og vide, at hvis jeg kører sikkert, så er den hjemme. Jeg tror virkelig på det. Det eneste, som jeg føler virkelig kan stoppe mig, det er jo enten et uheld eller en bil, som ikke vil. Men i heat 1 er jeg uheldig at have lidt hjulkontakt op i første sving, som gør, at min bil ryger meget ud af sporing og får kørt heatet færdig og kommer i mål og får en tid som nummer 14, hvilket jo absolut ikke er målet. Fordi man skal jo være i top 12 for at komme videre til semifinalen. Hvis jeg kommer videre til semifinalen, så er jeg sådan mere eller mindre sikker på, at guldet er hjemme, så det er jo selvfølgelig målet. Og efter heat 1, hvor jeg var 14, og så var jeg ikke så tilfreds.
Linneman needs to do some work here to get himself up with Maiko Tam. Gets a good start, gets a tiny bit of contact from August. He's on the outside. slots in inside Howman. Howman's going for the round the outside. Ulrich Linnemann gets up the inside of both. Martinsen gets pushed out wide. Linnemann's on the loose, runs up the grass, but he's broken it. Linnemann's broken the car. Surely Linnemann has broken the car. And he's dropped back, Hal. This is not a good day for Linnemann.
Til heat 2 er jeg selvfølgelig klar på, at jeg skal ud og gøre noget, der er bedre. Og oppe i første sving åbner sig en stor dør, synes jeg. Og jeg forsøger at køre indenom. I det samme, som jeg kører indenom, så ham, der har åbnet den her dør, har han forsøgt at lukke den. Og det gør, at vores forhjul slår sammen. Min tandstang, styretøjet, knækker simpelthen på bilen, og jeg kan så ikke styre den, og er nødt til at udgå. Og lige der, da jeg skulle stå ud af bilen og udgået, havde en 14. tid i heat 1, der var jeg godt klar over, at det her det bliver godt nok meget op ad bakken nu. Vi var 20 kører på dagen, og jeg vidste, at jeg ville ryge ned i nærheden af nummer 20 nu, og skulle op og slutte som 12'er efter 3. heat for at komme med i semifinalen, så kunne jeg hurtigt regne ud, at det blev ikke let. Men vi får bilen ud, vi får skiftet tandstangen og får forsøgt at gøre den klar. Vi møder nogle andre udfordringer på bilen. Vi har noget olie, som render ud af den, og vi har noget servoolie, som også gerne vil få lavet sin beholder. Jeg er hen og spørger nogle konkurrenter, om jeg kan være heldig at få dem til at lade som om de ikke kan køre ud fra banen, når de får målflag. Det hele handler om tid. Vi har nogle ting, vi skal skille af og skifte ud, for at vi kan blive klar til næste heat. Og i og med, at man har udgået, så er man den, der starter i det første heat i den næste heatrunde. Heldigvis har jeg rigtig mange venner i depotet, og der er mange af dem, der vælger at trække tiden, så når vi når frem til start med en bil, som jeg selv er klar over, at det er ikke for godt. Jeg skal helst sørge for, at den ikke er startet for længe, fordi at den drypper olie, når den er startet. Heldigvis er vores heat ret korte, så jeg er ikke nervøs for, at den kan køre et heat, men jeg må stoppe bilen og starte den og køre den hen på starten og stoppe den igen. Og man kommer lidt ud af det her, hvor man virkelig har sin selvkontrol og bare ved, at det hele det spiller, men jeg gør det, jeg skal. Jeg er klar over på det tidspunkt, at det er mere eller mindre en hurtigste tid af alle, jeg jagter for at komme med i semifinalen. De vælger så fra arrangørens side lige at vande banen, inden jeg skal ud og køre, hvilket gør det endnu mere svært. Det var en solskinsdag, banen tørrer op, og når jeg lige får en nyvandet bane at køre på, og de hurtigste i min klasse, de skal køre 3 heat senere, så har de alle oddsspillene i deres hænder.
Okay, this one is an absolute must-win encounter for Ulrich Linnemann. Mandy August on the inside. And it's Robin Norlander, Eric Gordon and Ulrich Linnemann. Can he keep his championship hopes alive? He's got to win it. It's got to be a great time as well because he must win the session. Gets the whole shot. Mandy August backs out of it, hits Norlander. Eric Gordon bounces off the wall in the background. That's going to hurt Ulrich Linnemann's times if Gordon can't move that car. Hopefully he's okay, of course. But wet conditions down the hill, how that's not ideal start for Linnemann when he needs a perfect time here.
Well, he made a great start, didn't he? That contact that's put Gordon into the wall is not ideal at all. I wonder if there might be a red flag if Gordon doesn't get out. In fact, I think it will be a red flag if Gordon doesn't get out of the car. We will see that in just a moment. Can't see it. The car's still there. On the track, you can see that in the top of the shot. Linnemann will be compromised a bit on his run up the hill.
Let's watch him now through this right-hander. He'll see the yellow flags, and he does. Eric Gordon's moved it. What a legend. So Gordon has moved the car off the racing line. Fantastic gentlemanly behaviour from a man who's just been slammed into the wall in turn 1. And that opens up the door now, Hal, for Linnemann. He's got one job to do here, but he's got to do 3 perfect laps.
He needs to nail every single corner. And the track's just been watered. That's not ideal for him at all, because in this hot baking sun in northern Germany, that's going to only improve the track conditions. On and off the brakes, riding the pedal with the left foot on the way down the hill. Tidy from Linnemann.
Oh, look at that!
Sucked into the final corner, misses the apex, but carries momentum around the outside.
Big weight transition for him. Eric Gordon is out of the car and stood at the side of the track, so he's okay. He'll be a bit sore, I'm sure. Linnemann now blasting down the hill. Track conditions will change, Hal. Sometimes a damp track you can find a bit more stickiness, but we'll see. Lindemann must set the best time he can. He needs the highest qualifying points he can possibly get.
The lap times aren't there. It's best as a 36.0. They were the mid-35s last time around. It's not going to be enough if the other drivers can do what they were doing earlier on.
Well, let's see. We've still got the rest of the session to go. Lindemann through into tidy joker. Over the line, on the throttle in the supercar, crosses the line. 155.1. Now that would not have been enough. That would have seen him in the top 5 in both sessions. But will top 5 be enough?
Jeg har taget starten i det her sidste afgørende heat her, og fører heatet fra start til slut. Og efter min egen mening laver jeg kun en lille bitte fejl op i sving 1, fordi jeg vil være helt sikker på at ikke blive ramt af min konkurrent, og så kommer jeg lidt hurtigt ind i svinget, hvilket gør, at jeg kommer en lille smule uden for sporet. Og det er egentlig den eneste fejl, jeg laver igennem det her heat gennemkørsel her. Jeg spørger simpelthen min søster, så snart jeg kører over målstregen. Hun var spotter for mig den dag. Jeg spørger hende, hvad var tiden, og hun siger, at den var 1.55.2. Jeg var klar over, at tiderne, de hurtigste tider, kørt i de foregående heatrunder, de var 1.54. Så tænker jeg, at det var ikke nok at køre tilbage til teltet. På det tidspunkt, der tror jeg ikke på det. Jeg får vand i øjnene. Jeg tror, det er slut. Jeg tror, at guldet, det er tabt.
Okay, well, look, either way, Tam is in P4, Franks is in P1. Whereabouts is... Well, he's not on the front page. That's all you need to know. Needs to be top 12, Ulrich Lindemann. He's got a big old job to do in this one. There he is, P16. Wow. Needs a session win. Nothing else will do it.
Jeg tror ikke rigtig på, at jeg kan avancere de der 4 pladser for at komme i top 12. Så vil jeg bare køre ud i teltet, gå ind i bussen og sidde og have lidt tid alene. Heldigvis så sker der nogle ting i de andre heat, nogle påkørsler, nogen der er uheldige, som gør, at jeg lige akkurat kommer med som 12. mand.
Ulrich Lindemann, he's in 12th place. Lindemann makes the cut. We've got a 3-way title fight. My goodness me, the bloke is on a roller coaster this weekend. He rolled yesterday, today. Unbelievable scenes as he scrapes it in P12 into the semi-finals. We got a 3-way title fight on our hands, and I cannot wait.
As you said, Andrew, it's all because of the carnage that unfolded. Look who hasn't qualified.
Yeah,
Tommy Hellman, Van der Herve, who was 11th at the end of Q2.
Unreal.
Chaos ensued, and Lindemann has just scraped through by the skin of his teeth.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Men lige der, hvor det kommer frem på tavlen, at jeg er 12'er, og jeg er med. Det var en kæmpe forløsning. For hvis jeg havde været 13'er eller 14'er, så havde jeg kunnet sidde og se løbet færdigt over fra bakken, og bare håbe på, at de andre klarede sig dårligt af mine konkurrenter. Ved at jeg var med som 12'er, jamen, så kunne jeg selv kæmpe for det. Så det var klart det, der var vendepunktet den dag. Så man kan sige, at hele den her søndag på Østerring her, den opsummerer meget min sæson igennem. Altså, det har været en kamp, der skulle kæmpes mod uret. Det har været en kamp med skader på bilen. Det har været, jeg har haft farten, når den skulle være der. Og ja, så kom vi så til den store afgørelse her, hvor jeg var i den modsatte semifinale end min konkurrent. Maiko Tam var i semifinal 1. Maiko havde en risiko for, at han kunne ryge ned som træer, fordi jeg havde et pointsforspring til ham. Og Victor Ranks var på en rigtig mission om at se, om han kunne erobre det her. Hvis jeg havde endt uden for semifinalen, ville jeg kunne have blevet hentet af Victor Ranks også. Men i og med, at jeg kom med i semifinalen, det gav lige præcis point nok til, at han ikke kunne indhente mig. Hvis Maiko Tam går videre til finalen, så har vi stadigvæk en fight, der skal afgøres i finalen. Men han får et eller andet problem. Han kører på en konkurrent og får problemer med bilen, og kommer ikke videre til finalen. Så imens jeg holder på starten og venter på min semifinale, bliver jeg faktisk klar over, at guldet det er vundet. Så min søster siger til mig, tillykke med mesterskabet, og jeg sidder sådan lidt, det er lidt underligt og fedt på samme tid. Men ja, selvfølgelig vil jeg ud og gøre mit absolut bedste for at slutte finaledagen med et rigtig godt resultat.
Lindemann now with less pressure, doesn't even need a finish in fact, but he will want, as anybody would, to get to the final of championship weekend. But he's got Janssen, McConnell, Ikonen, Turenne, Ostreng, trying to prevent him from doing so. Watch for Linneman in P6 on the grid. He's your champion-elect. Well, champion confirmed, really, but Ikonen gets into Janssen and McConnell with no way through. Linneman tries to sneak up the inside. He's been ever so sensible here, and it might pay off. He's going to get alongside Turenne and McConnell. Linneman up from P6 to P3. At the minute, that's enough to put him into the final.
If ever there was an example of what pressure does to somebody in a championship weekend, it's right there. Linneman will know now. He does.
Oh, he's through to
Ikonen's gone
P2.
wide.
Ikonen's retired the car.
Ulrich will know it's all done. There's no pressure. And then he lifts out the throttle, tucks up the inside. Thank you very much. All weekend, he's been so hard into the first corner.
That's what he needed earlier.
Driven himself into trouble. And
rolled it in the gravel trap.
You can't knock him for that because he's had the weight of himself on his shoulders.
The weight of the world.
And now he's free.
So now come on, Ulrich, get into the final. I want to see Ulrich Linneman in the final here on what will be a brilliant weekend for him. From P6 on the grid, he's already up after everybody running wide. This isn't done yet. Turenne's going well, Hal.
He is indeed ahead of McConnell at the moment. McConnell, the last of the drivers who are yet to joker as things stand. It's such a mental game, motorsport, isn't it? I love the psychology of it. I would like to spend a lot more time talking about it. Might well do that.
I remember Andrew Jordan. Do you remember? It said about that he went and saw somebody, didn't he, about the head game. Ikonen is piling, Turenne is piling the pressure onto Linneman. McConnell goes joker and covers off Ostring in the background.
Turenne's going really well today, isn't he?
Zero. Look, passing up the race.
That day in the FC2 is, for whatever reason, just sorted him right out, and he's going much better than he has all year in the polo.
I think as well, I think Turenne will know to stay out of the back of Linneman. You know, I think, as you said, he's someone who's been in the championship all year long. So Kasper Janssen leads from Linneman. Is Janssen going to go joker? Yes, no. Linneman goes joker, gets himself out of traffic. Not a bad shout, I think. It's tidy in the joker as well.
Especially if Frank's tucked up behind Ostring.
He's doing everything right. Linneman is doing everything right. We need that switch that we've been talking to him about to switch it off, don't we?
It would be unfair to say about time, but he's driving like Thomas Ingmerstad has done all weekend. He's just being really calculated and doing a brilliant job. What a way to seal a championship as well, though, rather than being wildly sideways. And Linneman is a driver that has tried for years to win a big title. When I started Super 1600 in the European Championship, he was already there, finishing second, finishing third, finishing second. He could never quite get it together. Home-built cars, difficult scenarios. He's always the one to have a massive accident and then have to build the car overnight.
He had the massive shunt here, didn't he?
A huge crash a couple of years ago, but of all the drivers that's had an up-and-down career that really deserves to win a big title.
He might get past him here. Turenne went sideways. Be sensible, Rick. No, there is no need to go past Turenne. Just follow him back to the line. Out front, Kasper Janssen's going to get this done. He'll be into the final. I think Turenne will probably get swallowed up, but we are watching Ulrich Linneman. He comes up over the crest. He rolled the car yesterday in the gravel trot. He got nerved off in turn one this time round, but Linneman coming through the left-hander, and he will be your 2025 Open Forward Drive Rally X champion. It's the biggest championship of his career, and my goodness me, as he had to work hard for it, not just this weekend, but throughout his career. I'm really pleased for him.
Me too. He's it says never give up on the back of his car, always, doesn't it? And he never has. He started this year wanting to do one event, and as usual, got sucked into doing the championship.
And how can he possibly not when he was in contention? Then how yesterday he rolled, then he's back in contention. This morning he broke the steering, he scraped it in 12th. I don't really know how it's happened. Look at this. He's avoided all the contact by 5 centimetres. It's the work of a genius.
As I posted on my Instagram stories earlier, after he broke the car up there in the first corner, he was straight in his normal clothes, underneath the car, helping the mechanics fix the car. He's really down to earth, does a lot of the work on the car at home himself with the help of some very good friends. And
he's coming past us now, Hal. Let's lean out and tell him what a great job. Ulrich Linneman comes back past the commentary position right now. He's done it. He's fist pumping. He's banging on the windows. He's going to get out of the car and come and see us.
Yeah.
Ulrich Linneman, the Rally X champion. Come in. Come on, come in. Get over it. We'll lift you in. Mate, well done. Right, let's get that helmet. Come on, over you come. Ulrich Linneman climbing in to see us. Well done. Well done. The car is parked right behind us here. You are the Rally X champion for 2025.
Yes.
Well done, mate.
Oh, what a feeling.
We're so pleased for you. We're so pleased for you, mate. Your weekend. We've just told everyone what happened, but you tell us, how do you manage it, Ulrich?
I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. After Q3, I was crying because I thought it was not enough. Because they watered the track before my heat, and the lap times couldn't go down because it was wheel spin all the way through the straight. So
Hal mentioned that at the start, didn't you, Hal? And he did a brilliant job, didn't he, in that race?
Ulrich on your roof yesterday, worst case scenario, on your own, a tiny mistake, big damage again, broken steering today. Your career has all been highs and lows, and this weekend has been massive highs. And how does it feel to win a Rally X title?
The biggest Rally X title.
I have to say I'm sorry to Michael that he didn't make the final, because it could have been fun to stay there between all the others and fight to the end. But with all that unluck I had today, then I just have to say it feels nice. And
I bet it does, mate. You get to have fun in the... It's gone, the car's been stolen.
My car have been... we struggle all day with oil leak and turbo pressure leak, and we have fights against the clock all the time. I was lucky to have friends in the paddock who got problems after the finish flag.
Obviously, I mean, just what happened in that session was incredible. We need to go racing, but Ulrich Linnemann, he's the champion. He's champion for 2025. What a great job, mate. See you in a bit. He's going to go and get ready for the final.
Det er sgu svært at beskrive, hvor stort det var, men ja, mange danskere på pladsen, og min egen familie, min kæreste, min søn og min datter stod klar til at omfavne mig med åbne arme. Det var virkelig mega fedt, og et kæmpe plaster på såret for alt det her vanvittigt hårde arbejde, de her søvnløse nætter, hvor jeg har følt, at jeg var Stena Lines hovedsponsor, og jeg simpelthen har pendlet Sverige retur og sat motor i. Jeg ved jo, hvor hver en møtrik og hver en skrue skal sidde på poloen nu, fordi jeg har haft en skilt, der er samlet så mange gange. Og stå der med en bil, der var mildest talt godt brugt, var specielt. Men ja, med finalen tilbage, hvor jeg så skulle starte 4, men hvor jeg havde alt at vinde og ingenting at tabe.
The last dance for 2025. A proper open four-wheel drive supercar final. Victor Vranckx and Kasper Jansen, Oliver Eriksson, Ulrich Linnemann, the champion. Philip Turenne and Elias Svensson at the back. Let's go! Let's go! Eriksson gets a good launch from the second row. Everybody gets good starts. Never, there's no way through. Vranckx nails it on the inside. Jansen goes for the backwards entry. Kasper Jansen sideways gets a little tap on the exit. I think Vranckx will have beaten him to it. He has. 10 out of 10 for effort from Kasper Jansen. Eriksson in there with him. Philip Turenne dropped into P4. Linnemann's in 5th at the minute.
If anyone was ever going to try the Andy right-side move, it's someone from the MSC team, from the drivers that have done it before. He really laid that down, just couldn't quite make it work on the exit. Ollie Eriksson's all over the back of teammate Kasper Jansen, but Victor Vranckx is out from where he has been for so much of the weekend.
Turenne goes Joker in the background. Vranckx, though, has got that little lead. Kasper Jansen literally went into turn 1 backwards. It was such a good effort, but a little nudge, and it didn't happen. Eriksson spins Jansen too. 4 cars, 5 cars involved in turn 1. Turenne reverses out. Yes, Linnemann into reverse and back out again into P3. What a wicked move by him.
Who's coming over the hill? It's Linnemann. He's broken the car, Andrew. The car's got front right suspension's broken on Linnemann's car, but he's so far ahead. This is going to be a proper hold on, like Carl Svedlund or Andreas Backrip before. No such problems though for Victor Vranckx, who is absolutely sailing away with this outrun.
Unreal. Are they still in turn 1? Okay,
Jansen's broken as well. Jansen's got issues too. He's slow in the
carnage. Jansen can't get through the Joker, so he gets on the handbrake and gets it through. Linnemann comes through, somehow is continuing. Victor Vranckx leads from Ulrich Linnemann after 4 cars were parked in turn 1.
Before the semi-finals, or before Q3, Linnemann was out of this. He was out of the title fight. He had absolutely no hope of being in the final, and now he's running second with the car broken.
Incredible stuff. Vranckx, they'll be on the radio to him and tell him he's got 9 1.6 seconds out up the road. It's ridiculous. He's literally in a different
who's
race.
still in the first corner? Svensson's definitely up there. There's someone on the inside. That's still Svensson.
I think Svensson's moved from the entry to the exit,
Ericsson's
basically.
gone and Terren's gone as well.
Double weight yellows. Who's parked down the bottom of the hill? That's Ericsson. So Ericsson's out as well. So Terren's now marked as a DNF as well. They're popping up one by one on the timing screen. DNF, DNF, DNF.
Linneman's guaranteed a podium even if he doesn't make it to the end. What's happened to Janssen then? So I don't think Janssen was involved in that scrum.
We are going to need to see a lot of replays. So here is Victor Franks. Let's take a look back because there's 2 laps to go. Let's see if we can find where Kasper Janssen and Ulrich Linnemann are on track. Franks has got another lap to go. He's jokered. Where's Linnemann? Linnemann goes joker now. So Linnemann's in the joker lap right now. He's getting his turn through there.
Yeah,
look at the front right.
It's
car's crippled.
It's been broken like that since the moment in the first corner.
This is a champion's drive, getting around a wrecked Polo is into the finish. It's not the way we wanted to see the season finish. Where's Kasper?
He's been lapped there by Linnemann.
Linnemann's gone past Kasper Janssen. The wheels are hanging off it already. Please don't have a big shunt right now. There's no need. We're on the final lap. And towards the end of that final lap will be Victor Franks. Takes a win here again. Brilliant job by Franks over the line. Fantastic performance. Double win at the Estering. Here he is, the champion coming through the final corners. He's going to get P2 with a wrecked car, but it's indicative of his entire weekend. The champion crosses the line with barely 4 wheels on it. Well done, Linnemann. What a show to take the gold trophy. Absolutely brilliant. Your champion, ladies and gentlemen, 2025 of Open 4-Wheel Drive. Ulrich Linnemann gets out. He has entertained this crowd here many a time. He's had massive crashes here. He's had wins. He's stamping up and down on the roof. It is the biggest title of Ulrich Linnemann's career, and he's had to ride a hell of a roller coaster to get it. He's on top of a broken car at the finish line of the Estering, and he's your 2025 champ. Donuts for Franks with the double win. Can't take away that from him. He's been brilliant, Hal.
He's been great this weekend. Such a torrid year for Victor Franks. Ulrich Linnemann, so often the bridesmaid in so many different championships. So much hassle he has trying to run his own cars. He's been trying to sell that Polo for ages. You've got to enjoy these moments because they're not guaranteed, are they? And Linnemann knows that more than anybody.
Never give up on the back of the car. Never has that ever been more true than this weekend. He rolled yesterday. He rolled his car.
And I was the first to call him out for it.
Yeah,
because
we did. We've called him out frequently for it. And he made some wonderful, sensible decisions. Then he got a little nudge in turn 1. Look, he's crying, I think, down there on the start line.
He doesn't want to get back in the car, and I don't think I would either.
Stay there, mate. Enjoy every second.
You want to soak it up, don't you? Because the moment he gets back in the car and drives back to Park Ferme.
Come on, Ulrich Linnemann. Brilliant from Vigo.
Jeg vælger igen fra start af i finalen og være lidt afventende og kommer lidt skidt afsted. Men ja, jeg kæmper, jeg kører så godt jeg kan. Jeg har nogen foran mig og nogen bag ved mig. Og på omgang 2, hvor vi kører ind i første sving, er der en af de forreste, som laver en kæmpe fejl og kommer til at holde stille. Og vi kommer alle sammen driftende. Vi har lagt bilen ind til det her første sving her og rammer alle sammen. Vi holder 5 i en dynge der til sidst, fordi at han stålede hans bil midt i svingen. Jeg er mega hurtig til at få den hamret i bakgear, for jeg holder sådan, så jeg ikke kan komme fremad. Så jeg bakker tilbage og kører afsted. Kører 3'er, tror jeg. Jeg kan jo så mærke allerede, da jeg kører derfra, at jeg har et forhjulsophæng, som er meget ustabilt. Mit ene forhjul kører simpelthen og drejer sig hele tiden, så jeg sidder og styrer både på langsiden, men især når jeg går fra speeder til brems, så ændrer den virkelig retning. Men får kørt heatet færdig og får overhalt ham, der kørte 2'er. Så kommer jeg i mål som nummer 2 i den her finale her, hvor det kun var den førende bil, som stak afsted fra start og ikke fik nogen problemer. Og da jeg kører over målstregen, der knækker mit forholdsophæng helt over. Så de her Celebration Donuts, som jeg havde forestillet mig, at jeg skulle lave, det blev det ikke. Jeg kørte bilen ned foran de danske publikum, hvor jeg så står ud, og jeg må simpelthen op på taget og hoppe, vælger at den tagplade, den skal ikke bruges mere, så hopper alt, hvad jeg kan på taget. Og der går det virkelig op for mig, at jeg er mesteren, og det er et mesterskab, som jo er kæmpe stort. Jeg har fået en vandrepokal, hvor der står navne som Johan Kristoffersen, Niklas Grønholm og Oliver Solberg. Det er et mesterskab, jeg er virkelig stolt over at have taget til Danmark for første gang nogensinde. Guldmedaljen er jo lidt tilbage i betalingen for alt det her, fordi alle har virkelig strukket sig til det absolut yderste for, at vi har kunnet lykkes med det her. Og det er hvad enten det er mekanikere, om det er familien, der har skulle svigtes lidt af mig, eller om det har været samarbejdspartnere, som jeg har måttet vride lidt ekstra kroner ud af for at komme i mål. Så det er en fælles sejr fra hele mit bagland, må man sige. Det har virkelig været en rejse, og nu er drømmen jo at kan gøre det hele igen, med forhåbentlig med et tal i sideruden. Det bliver jo meget, meget specielt at køre med nummer 1 og være den, som de andre ved, at de skal slå.
Det var så højdepunkterne fra Ulrik Lindemanns rallycross-sæson 2025. Håber du blev godt underholdt, og tak fordi du så med. Programmet præsenteres i samarbejde med Ravn Industri, Hallund Staldservice, Ørsted Engineering Consult og Østrup Autoophug og Genvindingsindustri.